Hi, and welcome to a self-published author's diary. I am Elodie Novodatsky, your host for this podcast. And this week's episode is really leaning into the diary angle of the title of the podcast. Follow me in one of the weeks of November 2025 as I'm gearing up for a release and sharing the ups and downs of self-publishing. It is November 4th as I'm recording this. It is 9:33 a.m. And I have some good news because Goodreads has decided that I am indeed also Elodie now. So all my books that are my spicy rom-coms have been changed back to Elodie now. If you're listening to this and you're one of my readers, please don't hesitate to go to Goodreads and also follow me on Goodreads at Elodie now. I'll put the link in the show notes. And so that's great news. The Barnes & Noble thing, I still need to figure out. I have not yet, as my book is still up for pre-order and everything, so I think that's fine. But I do need to figure out how to get my vendor part reinstated so that I can actually get paid. I also need to write to Kobo, so I have a few pending admin tasks. I'm also waiting on my health insurance confirmation because in Belgium I am registered as a self-independent worker. Because I make above a certain threshold, I am not on Adex's, on my husband's health insurance, and that means that I needed to register myself. And so I've done that, and I'm waiting to hear that everything has gone through, which I'm crossing my fingers it will. On another happy note is that I don't know if I told you already, but I passed 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So I will do an entire short episode on YouTube and why I'm on YouTube and how I got to 1,000 subscribers and what it means in terms of monetization, but also in terms of just having more people discovering my videos and also discovering my books. And so yeah, I'll do an entire thing about that. And another happy news of the day is that I got yesterday my draft to digital report for October on Overdrive. Overdrive on draft to digital, if you don't know, if you go onto the report that you get, you can actually see which library sometimes has requested your books. And I absolutely love that. I love that, because then I get to see where my books has been requested and whether it's like the ebook or it's been bought or it's just circulating, because there are different formats that your book can be loaned through a library. And so I can see right now that in October, 2 of my books got sold. One of them was a cost per checkout, which is one of the models. And this one just says digital downloads Overdrive. I don't think it tells me more. But there's one that they actually bought the ebook for their library. And I'm so very excited about every time I see a sale, but I think because the sale can be very anonymous. I don't know. I know the country, but I don't know the region. I don't know who bought the copy. I only know if people reach out to me, which granted, I understand not thousands of people are going to reach out to me, and that's fine because I would not be able to keep up. But it's very nice to be able to have a little bit more data and see where my books are. So actually I can see the Un seul rêve. So I have one of my bilingual book called Un seul rêve, One Dream Only. It was loaned, or it was borrowed by Digital Downloads Ohio. It's very exciting. And then I have Sweets for Love that has been bought by Indiana Digital Library. And that has that's just I don't know, that's just very, very, very exciting to me. I really love it. And I don't think I had shared the September Overdrive. So I had the book Un verano como ninguno, A Summer Like No Other, bilingual book, Spanish-English. So that's the one that had been borrowed. And it's a one copy, one user. And it was sold, actually, because it's one copy, one user. And it was to the Jasper County School District in South Carolina. I think my bilingual book is finding its ways to students. This is something that just makes me also very happy. It's just a reminder of some of the work that I do that is actually helping people. And because bilingual books is about reading languages and learning languages, and I'm so happy that my Duo Bilang pen name is actually helping with that. I used to teach German, so I taught German at the University of Maryland when I was College Park, when I was a graduate student, when I was doing my first master's. I also taught German conversation at University of Maryland, Baltimore County when I was doing my undergrad. I was part of the inter-living exchange there as a French mentor for a bit, for people learning French. And then I taught German at Howard Community College a couple, maybe now 10 years ago. I'm a learner of language, right? Like, English is not my mother tongue. I learned English, as you can hear by the accent, probably still. Yeah, it's just very, very exciting for me when my Duo Bilang book are being spread in schools, and yeah, it's fun. Also, my Elodie Now book, so Sweet Swallow, for example, knowing that it also making its way to libraries. I go to libraries. I haven't gone to a library yet in Belgium, but I went to a library in Maryland. Like, I have my library card, and it's yeah. Those are definitely the ups of self-publishing for me. Getting those emails, and then I got emails from readers too this week. Hi, it is November 6th as I'm recording this, and this morning I have dug deep into getting ISBN in Belgium. So I am registered as a company in Belgium, and if you live in the US, when you are trying to get an ISBN, you need to get it via Bowkers, and it costs money. And in Belgium, it seems that what you need to do is you need to request ISBNs. Once you have requested, or once you've obtained an ISBN in Belgium, you're required to submit 2 copies of the publication to the Royal Library of Belgium, KBR, for legal deposit purposes. It's different if you live in Wallonia or if you live in Flanders and Brussels. We live in Flanders. So that's going to be something that I'm looking into, because I have never used my own ISBNs. I've always used the free ISBN on KDP and over. So on Draft to Digital, you can also get a free ISBN. And I've been wanting to do large print copies of my books for libraries. That's something that has been on my radar, that I've been wanting to do, but I didn't want to necessarily have an extra cost. And then I was also thinking, like, I've never had my books on Ingram. Most of my books are not on expanded distribution. So most of my books are not available for purchase from different retailers and bookstores. I also would like to look into Bookelis, which is the French distribution via Hachette, for which you have to pay. Unless I think you had books that were downloaded a certain amount of time, like a number. And I think mine would work, but I need to double check, because I'm trying to get my rights back for 3 of my French books that were published with a French publisher more than 5 years ago. And that imprint which was actually, I think, an imprint of Hachette, it closed, and they no longer publish YA. They publish other books. They publish romance and others. I sent them an email yesterday asking about the reversion of the rights for those 3 books, because they have sold less than a certain amount of copies in the last years, and it's been more than 5 years it's been out. So yeah, so I can ask for my rights back, or they need to agree to republish the book and do more marketing and all that stuff. So we'll see what they say. I haven't heard back yet. Looking at all the prints possibilities, and I'm looking at all of that because tomorrow Nice Guys Don't Kiss Like That at Christmas releases, and I do not have. I'm gonna try to see if I can get an ISBN today. It's an entire thing. I have to write to Acerta, which is the counter that I'm using to be registered as a self-published author in Belgium and see if I can add an imprint name, which I'm ridiculously excited about. And it's called Raccoon and Hard Press. That's what I'm looking at. Raccoon and Hard Press. I'm going to check if I can add that as like a trade name, and then it's not changing my companion name, it's not changing anything else, but then adding that as a trade name so that then it will be my imprint name for my Elodie Novodatsky and my Elodie Now books. So they will be under the same imprint. I think that's okay, as long as the name of the author is different, so the YA doesn't get confused with the spicy rom-coms. I think that works. But Raccoon and Hard Press, how cute is that, right? And it's me. But that adds to the admin side of it that I was not planning to do this morning. I was actually just going to try to publish or prepare the paperback for Nice Guys, but which sounds like Five Guys when I say that, and now I want a burger. I'll keep you updated. This is the update of the day. I'm about to record the episode that will get published tomorrow, but for you will be last week. Time is a construct on this podcast, and then I have to do another few things for work and for the house, and all right, I'll be back. Hi, it is November 7th as I'm recording this, and today is the release of Nice Guys Don't Kiss Like That at Christmas. I am about to publish the audio I recorded yesterday called My Fuck It book, where I read the afterword of the book, and then I added a few things, and now I'm thinking maybe I should have added those few things in the book too. The good thing is that because I self-publish, I can update the afterword whenever I want. So I might add a couple of lines. It was about how I feel about the term battle and some of those things when it comes to cancer. But I wanted to tell you right now that I am getting a lot of emails, and if you're an author, you might get a published author, or maybe even if you're querying or writing, I don't know, but like I'm getting those letters about, hey Elodie, so I started reading blah blah blah, and I immediately forgot my coffee existed. Then I get a quick note about your writing. I came across your profile and wished to reach out to you. Actually, blah blah blah. And then I get those emails several times per day. It is wild. I even had, because I'm pretty famous, I had 2 emails from Taylor Jenkins Reid. Because clearly she wrote to me and she said, "Hi, I am Taylor Jenkins Reid, author of The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, blah, 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 blah. That's why I'm reaching out. I know how overwhelming and sometimes lonely the author's journey can feel, and I'd love to help. Keep writing, the world needs your words, warmly." She said from her Gmail account. Like she just has time to, I guess, write to me as a fellow author that she's never met. So I get a lot of those emails, but yeah. And then today I've already recorded the intro and the trailer for my French audiobook. It's the translation of Simi Simi Not, and I'm putting episodes on YouTube. So I'm trying to do it several times per week, but there was a lull there for a bit because of the move and everything. But I have decided to also put it as a podcast because the work is already done. So I just have to, once I've done the intro and the trailer, I can just upload them on Spotify as well and see if I get more readers or listeners. And the reason why I'm doing it that way is because, as you may remember, my Facebook ads account doesn't work. So I do not have, in terms of trying to get new readers, the tools I have at my disposals are newsletter like BookBub if I get selected, but that's in English, that's not in French. And I also have the fact that I have permafreeze, so I do have readers who find my books that way. It works very well for me. But at the same time, sometimes it's not consistent because it depends also on what other people are putting for. It's just it can just vary a lot. And so the other tools I have at my disposal is trying to be on more platforms and trying to get more people to know about my books that way. And I hesitated before putting Simi Simi Not on other podcast platforms. Like they're on YouTube, but I was thinking, it's going to be more work. But actually, it's not going to be that much more work, because once I've done the intro and the trailer, then I can just upload the episodes the same way I'm doing it on YouTube, copy paste, and then maybe I'll find more readers that way. Maybe more readers will discover the Gathered City series in French, because I have a 4th one coming out that I need to write. But then it's going to get translated in French. And so I just want to make sure that is happening. Otherwise, my Kobo situation has been fixed in terms of my bank account. That is done. And Barnes & Noble sent me to a different email. I also wrote on the White for the Win, not Circle, because they don't use Circle anymore. I don't know if I've gotten any feedback. I haven't checked. And then I want to publish the audio I recorded yesterday, and I'm nervous about it. So maybe that's why I'm talking to you right now, even though I should be hitting publish on that episode. If you've listened to that episode, thank you. Let me know what you think of it, of the format. Leave me a comment, send me an email. And when it comes to the email, you can reach me at elodie@elodienowodatsky.com. Nowodatsky is NOWODSDOGAZKIJ. You can also actually send me an email at elodie@elodienow.com, because that's my other pen name. It is November 13th as I'm recording this, and I got my Barnes & Noble account back. I noticed that 2 days ago. I do not know why. I do not know how. But I am very, very grateful about it. I had first written to one email address, and they sent me to a different account email. And so I reached out to them, and I did not get an answer, but my account has been reestablished. So Kobo is, working great. I actually got approved for a Kobo promo right now, so I'm very excited. I already have one for a French book, and now I got accepted for English-speaking one. And I also got my Barnes & Noble account reapproved, so yay! And this morning I published a chapter of my French audiobook that I'm currently recording, and I am trying to figure out what's going to be my plan for the next couple of weeks. It's something, because my office is still not fully set up. I am just now realizing that I have not downloaded certain courses from Kickstarters that have taken place, that I participated in. So yeah, I will figure it out, and I'll take you along with me as I figure it out. So thank you so much for listening, as always. And this was a few days in a self-published author's diary life. Thank you so much for listening. As always, if you enjoy this podcast, don't hesitate to hit subscribe. I love seeing where you're listening from, and it's really fun to see how those words of mine are traveling across the globe, and I am just so very grateful. So thank you again so very much for spending this time with me. I was going to say morning, but maybe you're listening to this at night, lunch, whatever, whenever. And to all writers out there, happy writing, and to everyone, happy reading.